Now it is.
Okay. Keep it, I guess, right here. How was this week?
That's pretty good. Yeah. We're still working on, I guess, like when she goes into stay and she's exiting stay.
Okay.
When she comes down, then she's
Lay down.
and then usually we'll pop back up or like yeah. I don't know because sometimes when I do it, I'll say like sit and then I'll just sort of hand motion stay.
Okay.
So I don't think she would have to sit.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay. How's she doing with all the other stuff?
Good, better. They're still like, they still can't completely trust her.
Okay.
Like, she got distracted by children. It's really hard to get her.
Well, when she was distracted, what was your number?
We were at 7.
At 70? So she's distracted by the kids, and were you calling her?
Yeah.
And then you were tapping at 70.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened?
That's like at 7.
Okay. So you're lower, but then you have to bump it up.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you at originally?
5.
55? Okay, it's not that big of a jump. Was she running towards the kids, or was she just like distracted by them?
She, like, she was getting more involved with them.
Okay.
So I was trying to, like, get her back
Sure.
before.
Sure. Okay. So, because I feel like here when we work with her, I feel like it's kind of in that range of like 55 to 70 something, right? Is what I would do is in a setting where she's going to be off leash or like on the long leash, I'd already preemptively bump it so that you're not wasting time getting to that number. And what you're creating is whenever you call Linnie, like it's just an immediate, it's 70, and she just last row today, returns, okay? And then I would assume whenever anything has Linnie's attention is that I already just go up there. Because at this point, like we have a good kind of idea of what her ranges are. Is I just go by previous experience, and I go, typically when she's distracted or whatever, it's usually 70 to 80, so I'm ready to be there. So this way, if anything starts like a distractor, I can immediately disagree with it, and not have that, that that gap in time. Okay, because part of off-leash training is it's not just Linnie, it's you, right? So like for me, where I've had clients in the past that after like the first class, they're already walking their dog off leash. And I'm like, that's great because they're so confident. But I'm like, but there's still stuff we got to do, right? Because then for the owner, like I've had dogs that were really good off leash, but the owner wasn't confident or comfortable yet for the dog to be off leash. So I'll tell them, like, just keep practicing until you are comfortable, right? Because if the dog's already there, then it's just waiting for the human to catch up. Okay, and that just comes with time, practice, and just kind of knowing if there's going to be other things around, like where to go on the remote. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So go ahead and I guess start with the sitting stuff that you're struggling with, so that we can take a look at that and see what's going on. So now she lays down.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you seen this?
Yeah.
Where you'll say sit, she'll lay down. Okay. So what you're gonna do here is you're not gonna say sit. Okay. You already said it once. Is you're gonna lightly pull up and tap, tap. Wait a moment. See what she does. Now light pull up, tap. Wait. Good. So if she, yep, tap. Wait a moment. Good. So if you say sit and she lays down, the reason that is because I think last week we started doing the down, right? Is now dogs will go to the most recent thing they learned. Okay, it's super common. That's why I tell everybody the more stuff that we teach, obedience-wise, like the more problems we can create. Okay, because and even like when we use food to train things, like if the dog learned paw, they'll constantly like want to give you their paw. Okay. So you've given her the sit. She's laying down. We corrected that, and then you go. And then she has trouble with staying in the sit.
Yeah.
Okay. So go to show me that. So correct this. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Good. Okay. Yeah. 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 Usually pressure. Good. Good. Try that 2 more times. Okay. Good. We'll try one more. Now with the sit and staying, when did you start noticing that problem? Was it more recent?
I want to say maybe the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you practice the come when Linnie is sitting?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. So what happens is, and I'm pretty sure I told you, because I tell everybody, is I don't do come from sit because that's the problem that you get. Okay. So what we want to do here is, are you doing the sit to the come because she's not like wandering?
I think we're just doing it like on walking so that she can stay.
Uh-huh. Sure. So, because I think in the past couple weeks I asked like how's she doing, and you're like she doesn't really want to leave your side, and she's kind of staying close to you. So then it makes it difficult to do come with her. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I understand why you did it, right? Because since she's being cautious and staying with you, it's like, well, I need to practice this, so I'm gonna have you not move, and I'm gonna call you, right? So we can do a couple of things here. Is it's okay if you practice that. It creates this problem. Okay. So now we're going to correct the problem, but then we're going to change a few things. Okay. So one of the first things I noticed is if we know Linnie is struggling with something, what I do is I go to shorting the leash to allow me to stop her immediately, right? Because since you had it at the end of the leash, you were pulling up, which was correct, but it was so much leash that it wasn't communicating with Linnie. Okay, so by the time she sat down, she was already here. Okay, because she's thinking she's going to return to you. So when you shorten the leash in the middle and you walk around, and Linnie gets up, you would pull up and tap to direct her, but we prevent her from coming to us. Okay, it's kind of like what we did way back in the beginning. The other thing that I do is I don't always call Linnie from the sit, so that she doesn't think that it's going to always happen. But that's one thing. She's like, I know you're going to call me, so I'm going to just go over to you, right? And then there's also, if I am going to call Linnie, I randomize when I do so. Okay, so if she's in a sit stay, and I walk away and I stop and look at her. Then I walk away some more, and look at her, you know, and I walk away again, and I look at her. Then come. Okay, so I'm stopping and moving several times, and I'm randomizing when I'm actually going to call her. Most people, they walk away, come, and always on the first time they call the dog, so the dog knows it's going to happen, right? So then they start to prematurely follow. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll put a long leash on her. Can you demonstrate, Enrique, how we go about correcting that?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
And you know what I'm talking about, right?
So just proofing the sit stay?
Yeah, start with the sit stay first, and then since she's having a hard time with Linnie breaking away, you know, she's probably going to practice that recall from the sitting position.
Okay.
That's a nice jacket.
What?
That's a nice jacket.
Oh, you didn't know it was canine?
No. Is that one of the ones I got?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I didn't get this myself.
Start with proofing the sit, so demonstrate the shortening the leash and stuff, and then randomizing if we're going to do a recall from that sitting position, like moving away and stuff, and I'd keep it within about 6 to 10 feet away.
Okay.
So Enrique is going to demonstrate what I was explaining earlier.
Sit.
Right? So you see how he has the leash shorter here? He's only giving like 3 to 4 feet of slack tap so that he can correct her and keep her ideally in the same spot. Because if you tap Linnie and she does return to you, she's thinking that's what she was supposed to do. Okay? So then we kind of regress a little bit and start to work our way back out again. Go ahead and pop her, give her a release, and you're going to do that 2 more times, Enrique. Yeah, so if I ever find a dog is struggling with something, we always go back to basics for that one behavior, and then we work our way back out again. Right, good. Right. Good, one more. Right. Good, and we can correct the premature downing if needed. That's good. Right. Good. So it's super important that Linnie stays away from you. Okay. Good. And break. So what we're going to do here is now you're going to, we'll have Gene hold Linnie so you can do a recall.
Okay.
Once you do the recall, do a couple of side steps.
Okay.
Then shorten the leash to do the stay.
Okay.
Do a short distance stay. And we're going to do that a couple of times. And then we're going to work it to where you step out. And then you're going to randomize and do that recall.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. So the recall after.
Yeah, we got to get her warmed up because now we got to do it step by step, okay? Yeah. Yeah, so you'll just hold Linnie like that. Yeah, you're calling Linnie. Whoop, big stick. Get that on the montage. Right.
Linnie, come.
Good. Good. Yeah, let her settle. Good. Good. Or you're going to do it like 20 minutes. I couldn't know.
Better. Now give the stay. Right? So now, now that he's done the side steps, we're going to assume she's going to want to follow again. So he's going to give the stay and shorten the leash so that he can help correct it. Good. Good. Now back to her side. Going to release her. Okay. We're going to do one more recall to that, and then we're going to work to a stay, and you're going to be going out further. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Good. Good. Now the stay. Good. Good. Now break. Good. So we're going to do one more recall. Now this one, when you do the recall, Enrique, go straight into the stay after the recall. And you're going to go from that 4-foot distance and start to go further, looking and stopping, and then randomly calling her at some point. Okay? Good girl. Yeah, good. A couple more feet, and then when you're walking around, give some like stops. Right, tap, 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 tap. So what he's going to do here, because she moved a lot, is bringing her back to the general area that she was in before. Right, good. Tap, tap, good job. Good. Right, tap, 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 good, tap. You know what I think you did different on that one? It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Right. Whenever you're ready. Very good. Yep, back tap, tap. Good job. Good. Go ahead and tell her break. We're going to try that one more time, then we're going to pass off to Gene, okay? So when he was walking around, could you see where he was pausing and facing her? And then moving? Oh, excuse me. Good.
I'll show you how to get this off. This bottle off. Everybody's like, I'm gonna ever
Good. Good. Atta girl. Good girl. Break. Good. So you're going to do the same thing, Gene. You're going to start with a couple of stays just to warm her up. And you're going to do that same progression, okay, from the stays and moving around, keeping it short. Then we'll do some recalls into stay. And then we'll do the stay and then a random come when called, okay?
Am I holding her or no?
She's fine. You could say heel and do a stay from a heel. You got a new girlfriend now.
Switching?
Yeah.
That's good. Try coming around the opposite way. Good. Back to her side. And you can do break and say sit, or you can do heel and then do a stay from a heel. Good. Good. Go ahead. One more.
Hope you just looked at it like, it did it, and I was like, sorry.
Good. So break. right? Yeah. Right. One more. Now, we're going to do that. Now we're going to add in, so when you're walking around her, you know, she's going to stay. When you're facing Linnie, right, stopping, waiting a moment, moving again. And then Enrique had done the part where he went like this, and she prematurely went right, he corrected it. Teach her like this. When you're in stay means nothing. Until I say Linnie, come, right? Now, sometimes, because when you're ready to call, you know, Linnie, since you know it's going to happen, people will alter their body language. So I had a lady, she thought her dog was psychic. Because the dog would, she said the dog, she was doing the exact same thing, right? When she'd walk around, it would be random. And she would, and she's like, the dog always knows the time I'm going to call her. And what was happening is, when she was walking away and she was going to do the come, like she would stop, right? She'd walk away like this. And then when she was going to call him, she would do this. Okay? So then the dog recognized this, which is the come. So then when she would start to dip, he knew, oh, you're going to call me, right? So it wasn't that he was psychic, it's just that she was changing her behavior the time she was going to call him. So very important that when you're doing this is that you're keeping that body language the same when you're turning the face and you're waiting to come, right? So there's that gap. And you want to very, you know, again, randomize your use the third time, maybe it's the first time, maybe it's the sixth time that you're stopping the caller so that she doesn't pick up on the pattern. Okay? The dog is super smart, they will use that body language. Okay? So I'll go ahead. Back tap, right, good, very good. Very good. Girl. Sure, try home. Yep. Very good. Praise the girl. Good. So go to bring Linnie back. Now, when you practice that, I would keep it at a minimum. Okay. So, realistically speaking, like Linnie wouldn't be sitting waiting for you to call her, right? That's also why I determined from doing it. But I understand why you were. Okay. So I'm okay with it, but now we know how to fix it and also how to prevent it. So let's say, you know, tries again tomorrow, she's doing great, she's staying, she's not moving, but then you start to see her progress again, then you go back to the basics, short leash, you fix that again, right? So, because she's having to decipher what you're going to do and what you're wanting her to do by just the remote, okay? So that's why everything is very cut and dry, it's very black and white. I use the leash to my advantage, so we have much more leverage. And you see how quickly she was able to recover from it? Yep. So she's got a good concept. It's just you got things a little mixed up. If you find you're working with her and maybe you're doing everything correctly, but for whatever reason she's having issues with it, then I try to just stop it altogether. I correct it and then try not to repeat it because she's not able to do both. Okay? Because for her, she's just thinking like, you're going to call me at some point, so I'm just going to beat the punch. So kind of like at the end, she would have come to me, right? Because she's like, Mom's going to call me right now. Like, this pointless. So it's harder for her to come to me, right? And I get some dogs, I'll do this twice with holding them for the owner, and then they don't want me to touch me anymore because they know the owner's going to call them. Okay? So it's that same kind of issue. Otherwise, we were able to fix that. I'm going to cap it there because I don't want to practice too much of the come stay. So I would do that sparingly. The best type of recall is always away from distraction. You know, I use those kids. You know, hold on to the end of the leash. It takes time before you start to see and build your kind of confidence in like, oh, Linnie is really good. Sometimes she needs a little bit more power, and instead of most people do, they hope the dog makes the right decision and is a good dog. I just make them be a good dog. Okay. Otherwise, that looked good. That was much better. Okay. Questions about that? So I'm trying to think here what we've done. I think we've covered all we did down last week. We covered place. We know the state. We've done the recall. We've done the heal. Then we started the emergency service, right? How has that been going for you?
I mean, it's
Try to scoot with you. Okay. So what we want to do there is if I'm giving the sit and she's still wanting to follow, I go back a step to that shorter. Okay. So Enrique, did you hear what she's having trouble with?
Sits.
Yeah. So then you'll go ahead and warm her up. Okay.
Using a short leash or just this?
Yeah, you can use long leash. Just shorten it up.
Heel.
So like right there, typically she'd keep following you.
it's more like when we're trying to stay.
Keep going. Okay. Do two more, and then switch to the just straightforward sits. She's doing much better with
walking away from you, because last time she didn't even want to leave you.
Do 2 more on the turning.
Correct. So here he's still pivoting to help her. So we went back a step, but he's still keeping his momentum. Good. Very good. For this one, when you give that, when you do the straight sit, whatever, you're gonna most likely have to keep using that hand to help her put the brakes on. Good. Is that what you're talking about? Like going forward, where she would keep following? Okay. 2 more. Add a girl. One more. I think what was also not helping was because of the comes from the stays. She probably kept thinking the same thing. So now that we've fixed the stay, it seems to be helping her with the emergency sits.
Sit.
Good. What I have you try on this next one is have that hand ready, but just give the sit without that leash pressure. If she keeps following, then you'll kick in.
Yep. Nope. No way I'm gonna have to turn. Sit.
There you go. That's a nice one. Add a girl. Good job. Yeah, do 2 more. Right. That was real good. Good. One more. So that one was a little bit tougher for her. That one was a little bit harder for her. Yeah, it's okay. But she did good in the first 2. Right? You can release her. Very good. So, I think just from the recalls from the sits and stuff, she was just getting really tuned in to like following you. So then when you're trying to do the emergency sits, she kept doing that, right? So now I'll have you try the same thing, and then so since we know, even though Enrique did it right now, no problem. You want to go back to that short leash because it doesn't mean it's going to immediately transfer, and then we'll work our way up from that. Okay? So you give her about like 4 feet of slack or so. There you go. That's good. And then you'll do the heel, and then just throw in the emergency sits. Okay? Nice one. That was a good one. Got a girl. Good one. Nice. Very good. So on this next one, I'm going to have you do a longer heel just to kind of break her away from it. And then you're going to do the sit like you were, but you're going to keep forward. Okay? Good. Much better. Good. That was good. You didn't move. Nice one. Good. So here, go ahead and let your leash go slack. You can drop it. And then you'll do the heel with the leash dragging. And now that we're removing the leash, when you give the sit, you're going to go back with the pivoting. Okay? See how she does. Up, tap, tap. There she goes. Atta girl. Step in. Yep. Good. Atta girl. So step in, tap, tap, now back. There you go. Good. And keep it close. And you'll quickly come around. Good. So, and we're going to pause right there. So that was good. So but now we took away the leash, right? So when you're doing the heel and you say the sit and you do this, if you see her still following, you'll just step in like you did and tap. Get her to sit back and then move back and then keep it short. But then the further you keep going back, because she's still trying to connect everything, she's more likely to follow. So as soon as I get to sit, I'll just go back a little bit and make my way back to her until I get her comfortable with that new way of practicing, and then we expand on it. Okay? Try it again. Right. Good girl. Pivot. Nice. I'm going to do one more. Cap forward. Good girl. All right, good job. All right. We're going to try, I think she's probably going to struggle with this. Heel, and as you're walking, you're going to stay sit, okay? But you're going to try to keep them forward. If she keeps following, you'll immediately pivot in, and then go to back, okay? There you go. Very nice. Try it 2 more times. Nice. Very good. One more. Beautiful. Look at that. That's fancy. Very good. We're going to hold right there. Okay. So now we're going to test the stay part of it. Okay. So if Linnie's ever struggling with anything, if you can't think back to like what was the basic part of it, okay, and make it easy.
Leash allows you to be more direct. So if I see the dog struggling with moving towards me, then I need more leverage to stop them. And that little thing, that little process is actually what allowed us to then go to this point. Okay? So she knows or has very good concept. She got a little bit tough. Okay, so I can see you doing your homework. Good job. Questions about this? Okay. Have I shown you how to do the random sits? Where you're moving freely?
It's like break and sit, break and sit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to show you an exercise. So we're going to progress it. Okay. The reason why we did the sit from the heel was to get Linnie used to sitting when she's in motion. Okay. And the easiest way to do that is to have that leash leverage and use her body to move free. Now what Enrique is going to show you is what I call like free motion sits. This is what's going to be more so applicable, like, if she were to be moving or whatever and you need her to be stationary, that's what's going to come into play. Okay? So you have to recreate that. So what he's going to do here, he's going to kind of be playing with Linnie, getting her to be loose, and then throwing in random sits. And we'll switch between what I call rapid fire sits, which is sit, break, sit, break, sit, break. So that she's like going between the two motions, but then also for her being nice and free and loose and not under any kind of command and random. Okay?
I'll screw up. So do the fast ones first?
Whatever you think. Right, tap, tap. Good job, good girl. And keep your movement, because you're pausing. Right, good. There you go. Slightly, tap, good. Good. Step in, tap. There you go. Good job. Now try the rapid fire. Yeah, shorten your leash. Good. Now here, try a free motion, but increase the speed of the movement. Yeah, there you go. Watch your paw there. There you go. Couple more. Good. One more. Good. And then try just a couple, like 3 rapid fire sits. Good. right? Good. And break. Good. So what he was doing was mixing up between like always, being strict and being playful with her to get her to like, just jump and run around and stuff and be as loose as possible. And then, so you're creating the energy and then this, okay? So she's learning an on and off switch. So like, do you ever play with, like, do you play with Linnie, like if she doesn't do that, she doesn't give me some hug or anything like that, a little bit? So like, let's say an activity that she really just kind of gets used for, I'm playing with her, and it's for like a couple minutes and then randomly just, like out of nowhere. Because now she's going from this active high drive state to like, right, control, and then immediately, and we go back to playing again, right? And here we kind of exaggerated it and drilled them a lot, which is fine in its own. But like, let's say you're taking something that she normally does for fun, like let's say tug, is when you just start to blend this in with tug, you're gonna see some disinterest in the beginning, because she's like, oh wow, like now there's rules. So it's part of the process. But if there's something that I have, or something that the dog really likes, like fetch and stuff, and like just chasing the ball, I like taking those things and using them. In the beginning, yes, they dip, but then once they learn the game, they end up really liking it. Okay, so it's very challenging. And then like if I have the ball, right, and I go sit, and she goes, oh, great, I can throw it, and she can shoot off and get it, and that's now the reward. Okay. And you can also blend other things, like even the stuff that we're doing. If I go, Linnie comes, stay, right, back, break, throw, right? Is you can engage playing when you do your practice session. So now it's not just playtime; it's playtime with some reinforcement. And then when you're, on your daily life, shoes off, squirrels come. Like now you're actively using it, right? So like the playful training sessions are to keep her just kind of up to date, creates motivation, a little bit of drive, and then real training is always applied training. It's the most important type of training there is for everybody. Okay. This exercise here, just a couple of minutes, just running around, being free, having fun, just sit. And anywhere technically is a junction to you. Because sit means wherever you're at, put that butt down. Okay, so then if you look this way, that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. Now some dogs might do this and turn to face you, but they'll sit where they're at. That's fine as well. But technically, it just means put that butt down. Okay. To test the randomness as well, what you can do is on a walk. When you're on a heel, you're walking the Lincoln Park. Sit randomly. Okay. But because it's so random, you're gonna need to do that pivot, because it's going to be out of nowhere, right? Because it's a normal walk. She's not expecting you to do that. Here, she's expecting it. Because she's like, oh, I know what we're doing, right? So when you're on a normal walk, and then you just go randomly sit, she puts that butt down, you go heel, and you do that every once in a while, sporadically. Then when I feel like, man, she's doing really good, then I throw in sit. As I'm just healing, come back to the girl, and then go normal walk. So you're just throwing these things in randomly whenever you can. Because that's what shows you her concept of these cues, is whether or not she'll do them. At times she's completely not expecting this. Okay? Questions? Good job. She's doing really good. Any questions for us? Okay. So for this week, continue with the recall stuff. That's always the most important. It takes the longest practice until to get solid, but everything else is looking really good. I think that's what we'll bring the placement back, and then we'll start working with the leash dragging. Are you still working with the leash in your hand, or are you letting it go? Okay, cool. So keep doing that. If you see something like that you feel like you get really distracted by, kids, dogs in the distance, and the leash, right? Walking towards it to see if she gets tempted. If you start to hear kind of get distracted, then I hold back. And just like wait for it to get really tuned out. And then use that for as an advantage
advantage of recall. Some kind of command like that to pull her away from it. And then I'd already preemptively be up higher. Okay? Anything else? Awesome. Good job. Girl. You seem more relaxed.